Crazy. It's 8:59 to noon on this Tuesday from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. We are at the Minnesota Vikings facility. It is the Tuesday 9 to noon presentation. It is 8:59 to noon. We absolutely love it here. Tuesdays in Eagan are provided by Sukup Manufacturing and Sukup.com. Good morning. I'm Paul Allen. Nordo by my side. He's Mad Producer 1 via the tweet machine. And the great Maxwell Fuller guides the great ship Love Covenant from FM 100.3 KFAN and the 651 Carpets Plus Studios. Tuesdays in Eagan provided by Sukup Manufacturing to manufacture, to create wins like the Atlanta Falcons, a perfect 3-0 in their division. Mike Tomlin has manufactured seasons in a way he never has had a losing one. A little side note here for Mike Tomlin. Covenant claps for that. I mean, as a head coach of a National Football League with a Super Bowl ring, by the way, to never have a losing season and to coach as long as he has. Now he's got Russell Wilson after Justin Fields. You had Mason Rudolph-related terrorism in there. You had Kenny Pickett-related terrorism in there. Covenant clap for Mike Tomlin, never having losing seasons while being a head coach in the NFL. And good morning.
Good morning. And I think he's, when you talk about manufacturing and building something, after Belichick left New England, I think Tomlin's the longest tenured head coach in the NFL right now, because you have him in 07, maybe Harbaugh. Well, Harbaugh was 08, I believe, with the Ravens.
Yeah.
So he's had the longest tenure in the NFL. He just flipped on a dime with Russ, and suddenly Russ finding a way to put the air under the ball in Pittsburgh for the Steelers. I mean, Tomlin just keeps chugging. He has built something. He has manufactured something that is truly a beautiful brand in the NFL.
The stark contrast between coaches, both Super Bowl winning coaches. You have the anti-Vike, Sean Payton, out there Denver way, Super Bowl ring with the New Orleans Saints. You got Mike T, that we were just chatting about. But both in recent times have worked with quarterback Russell Wilson. Okay, can I even get to the bit?
No, I'm sorry.
Well, seriously, I mean, like Russ last week, Russ last night. Russ is dusting off the rust. So there are going to be some wonky moments. And there's Mike Tomlin, arm around Russell Wilson, pointing to call sheets, pointing to things on Bill Musgrave's a little note card, and just kind of coercing, kind of supporting, and giving Russell Wilson some brief reminders of how good he is, and can be. Then you get the anti-Vike. First thing he says when he gets the job of the Denver Broncos, he savages the general manager, savages the president of the organization, puts all the blame on everybody in the organization except Russell, saying, well, how are you supposed to win when you got this clown show around you?
Worst coach in the history of the NFL.
Thank you. Nathaniel Hackett, worst coach in the history of the NFL. Covenant claps for Nathaniel Hackett, and here's why. Within 6 months of Sean Payton saying that, Nathaniel Hackett and the New York Jets went to Denver and beat Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. Take that, anti-Vike. But then the anti-Vike, after being, so kind and so supportive and so loving of Russell Wilson, deflecting all the attention and everything, was seen 7.5 months later cussing at him and screaming at him on the sideline. That is the anti-Vike, and that is anti-Vike antithetical to Mike Tomlin, but we digress. The word manufacture. Thank you, Sukup, and Sukup.com for the Tuesday sponsorship, and here we are. Green Bay has manufactured a handful of victories using the Liberty Kid at quarterback, a cast-off from the Tennessee Titans. From 5-2 and on a 2-game bender of negativity, it's time for the Minnesota Vikings to discover some farming roots. It's time for the Minnesota Vikings to channel their inner Lewiston, Minnesota, and manufacture, at least 4 consecutive wins to bump the mark to 9-2. I mean, can it happen? Colts here, W or L?
W.
At Jacksonville.
W.
At Tennessee.
W.
at the coach who runs backup centers inside the 3-yard line, only to have them fumble and play into the loss of a game, but only to take the lead and be on the wrong side of a Maryland Miracle.
Let them turn their W into an L, which would give us the W.
From 5-2, we're out here trying to manufacture in farming-like fashion. So let's be the bumper crop. Let's be the wheat. The adversary's the chaff. Their branches are dead. Ours bear fruit. Why? Because we manufacture wins any way we can, any way we can get them. And it starts with the Indianapolis Colts Sunday night on KFAN. Manufacture. MANUFACTURE. M, memories. A, armor. N, nasty. U, ubiquitous.
F, faith. A, ace. C, confound. T, thievery.
2, all right, 3, 2. U, Uranus.
R, re-energize.
E, eased. Manufacture. Let's begin with the M in memories. More than a handful of these Colts, the team with the horseshoe on the helmets, they remember 33-0 from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They remember the overtime loss. They remember the inadequacy and the overmatched, overwhelmed nature of referee Trey Blake doing them solid after solid after solid after solid. They remember the embarrassment associated with being on the wrong side of history. Up 33-0 at halftime. Here come the Minnesota Vikings surging on the outside for the greatest comeback, the largest comeback in the history of the National Football League. They remember the embarrassment of that day at U.S. Bank Stadium. Those memories don't count anymore. They just lie on the floor till we sweep them away. A, armor. The run defense has to have the entire armor for this game. They're going to come pounding at you. They don't trust their quarterback. He's 44% and he checks out of games. If they don't trust their quarterback and they use the older guy, Joe Flacco, who has some football immortality to him, he can't move. They're going to run, and they're going to run en masse. You need to have that capital A. You need to have that armor for this game and be ready with that front seven for a powerhouse running game coming at you, led by Jonathan Taylor. Paving the way would be the likes of the great Quentin Nelson and nasty. The passing game with T.J. Hawkinson. Ooh. Remember that 22 debut at Washington? 9 targets, 9 catches, 70 yards. It feels like TJ hasn't played here in a season. That was his Vikings debut. We never had him. He went 9-70. But you know who also ate? Justin Jefferson. 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown in that game at FedEx Field. T.J. Hawkinson returning makes the N nasty. Manufacture. M, memories. A, armor. N, nasty. U, ubiquitous. This pass rush, just all over the place. Just be all over the place. TFLs, sacks, hits, ants marching, bees swarming. The return of the purple haze. Monsters emerging from clouds of smoke. Be ubiquitous. Be that purple haze.
And to F, M-A-N-U-F. F is for faith, PA. And as faith goes, it's faith in the kicker. Will Reichard has been absolutely perfect and spectacular. And he can hit it from just about anywhere on the field. And save for a formation penalty, we may have walked off winners with an NFL record from 68. Faith in the kicker in grimy games. Faith in the kicker in games you have to win. Faith in a kicker under the bright lights of Sunday Night Football at U.S. Bank Stadium. Will Reichard, what can we count on? He's absolutely one of them, in which we have much faith. To A.
A.
It's the ace. It's the ace in the hole, PA. You mentioned T.J. Hawkinson. I'm thinking about Justin Jefferson. I'm thinking about
JJ.
Targets being down. I'm thinking, again, things that you can lean on when you've had 2 tough losses, when you have injuries, when you have strife, when you have consternation.
Yeah.
The things that you can rely on. How about your superstar wide receiver?
Need that ace in the hole.
How about feeding the beast? The guys you can rely on, the guys that you can count on, the things that you know are always going to be good regardless of circumstances, when I think about Sunday night and I think about any freaking night, I have my ace in the hole, and his name is Justin Jefferson.
Manufacture, Manufacture. In farming fashion, your Minnesota Vikings are looking to manufacture a victory Sunday night at U.S. Bank Stadium. M, memories. A, armor. N, nasty. U, ubiquitous. F, faith. A, aces. C,
confound. Flores's group needs to get back to confounding opposing offenses again. For 3.5 games this season to open the 2024, we were talking about giving Brian Flores a lifetime contract. We were talking about one of the great scoring defenses in the NFL. We were talking about confounding and confusing, harassing, punishing, brutalizing, and staking massive leads in games, in part because of our defense's ability to make NFL quality QBs look stupid for massive amounts of games. And now we have seen what at least 2.5 games looks without the confounding, without the confusion, without the harassing and the brutalizing. So on a Sunday night with Brian Flores's group against a young, inexperienced QB who just went 10 of 32 and actually kind of just left the game because young kids get tired, this is an opportunity to get back to confounding and manufacturing a victory on Sunday night.
And the Colts are confounded.
And while they're confounded, I need the Vikings to be thieves. I need the Vikings to be thieves, thick as thieves on Sunday night. Thieving, as in taking the ball away. This team has feasted on field position, winning the turnover battle, and winning games. It's a big reason they're 5-2. And when you're confounding that opposing quarterback, you will have 2, 3, maybe more opportunities in a game to be thieves, thick as thieves, and take that ball away. Feast on some turnovers, and you're going to feast on a fat W on Sunday night against these Colts.
Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun and the 3rd largest planet in our solar system. It's known as the tilted giant because it rotates on its side at nearly a 90-degree angle to its orbit. Uranus. You know who else is a tilted giant about to rotate on his side? Joe Flacco. You know who else is a tilted giant about ready to rotate on his side? Joe Flacco. Go ahead and play Joe Flacco. Flores pass rush will have this giant on tilt by the end of the first quarter. The second Uranus. It's time to have the tilted giant rotate on his side. He's Joe Flacco.
When we are manufacturing victories, thanks to our buddies at Sukup, when we are manufacturing this team moving forward in the season, bright lights, Sunday Night Football, how about R for re-energized?
I'm loving it.
We can look back on last week and say it was 5 bad days because we can be re-energized. We can be reinvigorated with a victory. As cliched as it can be, winning cures almost everything, PA, in the course of a season, and you can be re-energized with a W. And as you mentioned, the chance to rattle off a few, re-energize, be built with confidence yet again. It was just 5 bad days. Get that win on Sunday night, and we're manufacturing something special.
9 to noon has arrived at the Vikings facility in Eagan, Minnesota, hoping our team can manufacture a victory. Manufacture. M, memories. A, armor. N, nasty. U, ubiquitous. F, faith. A, C, confound. T, thieves. U, Uranus. R, re-energize. And E, eased. These Colts are gimpy. The stride is off. The rider Richardson can't even catch his breath after every play. It's something's gone amiss with the Colts, and they've been pulled right out of it. The Colts have been eased, and the Minnesota Vikings hit the finish line first. The Minnesota Vikings are 6-2 6-2. Let's get out there and manufacture a victory against the Indianapolis Colts. And thank you, Sukup and Sukup Manufacturing for sponsorship of Tuesdays at the Minnesota Vikings facility. He's Eric Nordquist, and I'm Paul Allen, courtesy of TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon includes the columnist around the corner, the scribe at 10, and the head coach at 11. News du Nord splits the scribe and the head coach. Maxwell Fuller guides the great ship Love Covenant from FM 100.3, KFAN, and main man Maxwell can stop thinking about the Mavs and the Wolves for just a second and give out some cash.
I'll try to stop thinking about it, PA. The Fan and two men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword BANK. That's BANK at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That's keyword BANK. Enter it now at KFAN.com. Let your voice be heard. Tune in to Vikings Fan Line following every Vikings game presented by Verizon. Listen in right here on KFAN and anywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
What's going on, Lavelle?
Nothing much. Is today Friday? Are you supposed to be at Buffalo Wild Wings or in Coon Rapids or Chanhassen or? My God, I was driving over here and all I heard was fire and brimstone over the radio. You and Nordo about manufacture this and blow us up and confuse this. I was like, dude, it's Tuesday. It's
time to build something, man.
You have to pace yourself for the rest of the week now. Did you take your vitamins for a change this morning or what?
Well, and good morning. Lavelle Neal, the third columnist, Star Tribune, and he's ballyhooed at Lavelle Neal via Twitter. Follow him as 9 to noon does kindly. We support a football team that nearly went from first place to last place in the course of 7 days. We came into the Lions game 5-0. We left it 5-1. Took a little trip out SoCal way. Ran into football immortality in the shape of Matthew Stafford, who dusted off the old school Matthew Stafford and was slinging the rock all over the yard, and we lost. And we were a Maryland miracle, from being tied for last place and technically because the conference record would be better, or the division record, one of the two. From being in last place, narrowly clear from your baby squad, the Bears. So yeah, we're a little fired up on a Tuesday for Sunday night, and good morning.
I ended up on the other side of that because if you remember about 10 days ago, I wrote, hey everybody, the Vikings are going to be 7-0 if they win these 2 games.
Right.
And look what happened.
Yeah.
Diseased.
But you also, maybe it was with Barrero last Friday. You also, when you got messed up on the schedule, because you didn't have it in front of you, you also felt even after the loss to the Rams, I believe, the Minnesota Vikings could be an 11-13 win presentation. Is that accurate? And good morning.
And there's still a possibility of that. Look at the games that the Vikings have coming up. Not only are some winnable games, but for Sam Darnold, they're playing some pass defenses that aren't that great. There's a stretch of them coming up here where this team offensively can make some hay and get back on a roll here. So yeah, going to 5-2, is kind of a gut punch, but man, it could just be a little bit of a hiccup in what could be a really good season. I think you could still have this team put on 11 victories at least, if not more.
The A topic, and the reason I bring it up is because you put it on the tweet machine right at the end of the Maryland Miracle. Why did you require a heart procedure last week? And truly, how are you?
I'm doing good. This has been coming on for years. I'm a sleep apnea guy going back to my 30s. And so one of those bits where you're trying to wear the machine and the CPAP machine and get the regular sleep. And a lot of times AFib develops from the people who have sleep apnea. And that's what happened to me 2 years ago. I got diagnosed. So
help yours truly with AFib. What's AFib?
It's a irregular heartbeat. Okay. Basically, your heart's being tricked into believing it's got to beat faster.
Oh.
So
So it's akin to trying to trick a defense. You're going to score a touchdown with a backup center inside the 5, and he never holds on to it, and he fumbles it. It requires surgery to pull all the players off. They find the irregular football. It's fixed, and we continue the game. And good morning.
You got the other quarterback going, right? When he drops back. And
that's Anthony Richardson. Okay, we're talking about the Bears Washington.
No kidding. Yeah, no kidding. How about that one? I was tired.
So you're doing okay, right?
Yeah. So, I had a procedure 2 years ago in which they actually stopped the heart for 2 seconds and restarted. It's called a cardio version. And technically, I stopped having AFib at that time. But usually once you go to take this one step, you want to do the next step.
Okay.
And I was a low-level case here. My score was really low, so it wasn't an extreme case. Right. I do know someone who's had 5 of these ablation procedures, which I had on Tuesday.
Okay.
So, not the greatest thing ever. It's as invasive as possible. They're going through the groin area and then up through the blah, blah, blah into the back of the heart. And then they kind of cauterize some areas in the heart to keep the electrodes from over.
Why can't they go straight into the heart?
Because that's open heart surgery, dog.
Oh. I guess as the kids would say,
and stuff.
That surgery escalated quickly.
The funny, because for some reason, people came out of the woodwork who have had this surgery going, do it, it's easy, you'll recover, in and out one day, you only have one heart, just get it done.
Yeah. What are your restrictions?
For a week after the procedure, which was a week ago today, I could not lift anything more than 10 pounds. As I was telling you off air, you don't realize how much the body is connected, until something goes wrong with one part of it. So, in fact, Thursday, I was sneezing, and on third sneeze, I felt it in my groin area.
Oh!
Right where they entered, Oh, the other thing, too.
A sneezing catheter test.
People with experience in these surgeries warned me to shave myself before the procedure so the doctors wouldn't do that before the surgery. So I was
Your
in
face,
the shower.
you mean?
No, the groin area. Yeah, so here I was in the shower the night before with razor taking care of your hair and make sure it goes down a drain. And then
we could have stopped at ablation.
Sure, I think ablation was.
I'm lying on the table. And the doc, I got to check and make sure anyway. So there's just a moment of clarity. You know what I'm saying?
Well, wasn't there an option of a nurse shaving your groin area?
Well, the vision of a nurse coming at me with a disposable razor was not a pleasant one. So I wanted to be proactive. You know what I'm saying?
That's very good.
And he sheared the hair off your chest and my back.
Okay.
So basically, I'm just baby skin now.
You're a male model right now.
Exactly. So
you didn't come down a hallway. You entered via a runway.
Yeah, shoulders back, back arch. No, but it went well. I had a post-op exam on Thursday, so they're happy. If they're happy, I'm happy, man. So.
Okay. Covenant collapse for Wobble, by the way. A little surgical procedure last week, and my man sneezed, and it was like a sneezing version of a catheter test, and he's feeling it right now.
Actually, you're part of this bit here. I forgot how this whole process started.
I get your heart racing, and it caused a problem?
He held the razor?
No. Here's where I thought I had a problem. Was 2 years ago. Remember the game in Buffalo where Justin Jefferson made that ridiculous catch?
Yep.
Josh Allen fumbled at this 1/2 yard line. Remember all that?
Yep.
So after the game, coming out of Foxborough, it was like a 2-mile walk to the Uber pickup. So I was with Collier and Tom Schreier and all the young bucks on the beat. I'm trying to keep up. I'm wiped out.
Right.
I said something's wrong. It's one thing to be fat and know that you're fat, but it's like I can't. Hey. I'm having trouble catching my breath here. This is bad.
Yeah.
So I went and saw a doctor right after that, and the doctor put the stethoscope on me. 3 seconds into it, he goes, I don't like your heartbeat. And that's how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
But see, look what you've triggered. You've triggered a civil war between those who were in a good mood, getting along, happy and everything. Nordo immediately takes a shot saying, I'm testicle shaver guy. And then you bring up something about being fat. And for whatever the reason, even though Nordo's not fat, he's juicy. I said Nordo, and that was uncalled for. So I'll repent later, but apologize now. And good morning.
I'm big boned. We're husky. Would you rather be in your current spot now, just going through that procedure, or would you rather be Tyreek Stevenson in the film room after the Maryland Miracle?
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's an easy automatic answer to this. After what Tyreek was doing on the field and ultimately tipping that ball to Noah Brown, what a disaster that was for the Bears.
Tyreek Stevenson, though.
I want to make this perfectly clear before we move forward.
Yeah.
The Bears deserve to lose that game. Okay, the stuff that went on 3 quarters before that,
Really?
Was just egregious. Now, the defense was on point. They have not given up over 20 points in a game for like 14 straight games now, something ridiculous.
Yeah, because I'm going to I watched nearly the entire. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. They did not deserve to lose that game because of the defense.
They looked like ass on offense.
Well, I know, but the defense counts too.
But it's okay, Mr. Complimentary Football. We have standards here, okay?
Yeah, we're at the facility. Thanks to Sukop.
Yeah, so that's where I'm headed at with this. But yeah, give credit to the defense. Yeah. Kept them out of the end zone, held them to field goals. Like, look how close they were. 4 field goals that were closer than the extra point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a problem.
So I'm not hating on the defense.
At least you didn't draft your quarterback high.
But and I'll give Caleb. I don't know what's going on in the first 3 quarters. Caleb had problems seeing things downfield. I don't know if guys were covered. I don't know if there was scheme or confusion. It wasn't there. But in the 4th quarter, he led them down the field not once but twice. The first time with that ridiculous handoff to the offensive lineman, and then the second time when it came to their senses, they handed the ball to Roschon Johnson.
Yeah.
So, funny.
But with the backup center inside the 3, where was it? The 1?
It was like the 2 or something.
Okay.
Like Doug Kramer.
How? I mean, how and why? Whether you got DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, run Roma Dunze on a jet sweep. I mean,
even Cole Kmet.
Well, dust off Refrigerator Perry.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, dust off Refrigerator Perry, have him do it, and then carry Buddy Ryan off the field. When you get so cute and you bring in the backup center, and then he clearly has no idea how to hold the ball, or the whole exchange was pear-shaped. Do you know who hates that? Every running back on the team, every player on the offense, every owner who owns the team, every team president, every general manager, and every coach who didn't call it. They all hate that play.
No doubt. And here's one funny part about that play. Doug Kramer fumbles the ball. He went to Illinois. The guy who recovered the ball, Jerzon Newton, he went to Illinois.
Millington.
Yeah.
Jerzon Newton is on Washington. That's the Newton.
Yes.
Oh, bro, he's a bomb. Yeah,
So,
Jerzon's
but
nice.
here's the thing, though.
Hey.
You call that play if you're up like a score or 10 points or 12. That's when you get cute. That's when you become Matt Nagy. You don't pull that crap out at that time. I was just
what the hell?
So
what else
were you watching it at Allery's, home of free parking and shuttles? Allery's.
I guess it's called Allery's Bar and Barbecue now.
Right.
Well, you've been talking about their barbecue. It's pretty good, right?
He couldn't watch it at Allery's because the plate of brisket weighs more than 10 pounds.
It was 11 pounds.
And he couldn't lift it up per the rules via the ablation.
Dude, just slide across the bar.
Yeah, there's no chance he carries his own food. No chance he carries his own food at Allery's.
So the other thing, here's the other thing too, that I'm the last person to jump on fire the coach bandwagon, because that's something that's low-hanging fruit for fans. But the loss,
just negative energy.
The loss to Washington, going back to last year, is the 4th time, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4.
What happened?
Which the Bears have lost when they've entered the 4th quarter with a 90% win probability.
Oh, jeez. Didn't we have one of those recently?
That is an indictment on the head coach.
Yeah.
And you look at how that last play transpired. Tariq Stevens had no business doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
It looked like on film that Caleb Williams saw it from the sideline and was trying to get someone's attention.
Oh.
So there's bits here about...
Like Tyreek, dog, what's he doing?
He was trying to get the coach's attention. Did you see what's going on over here?
Oh, my heavens.
So there's stuff about lack of awareness.
Yeah.
Eberflus had 3 timeouts in his pocket. He had used a timeout. That was just a perfect timeout.
You never like to use timeouts on defense.
Last play of the game, dog.
I know. Who cares? It's stupid.
There's a bunch of stuff going on there. That it was just a comedy of issues there, man. And then just so frustrating because...
what do you think about not going after Jaden Daniels on that play and allowing him... Because there's the argument. I mean, if you look at what the Kitties did to the Vikings, for instance, they send an extra guy. We don't rush 3, drop 8, right? We go in, we send that extra guy, and we just end the freaking game. What do you think about giving Daniels all that time?
I think it's a personal choice. I think you want your chili mild, you want your chili hot. It's how you like it. Eberflus, I can't. His defensive play calling is elite. He is an elite defensive mind. So if that's the way he wants to play it, I'm going to have to believe him in that regard. Because that's one area of his game that I have a lot of respect for. So
I'm trying to poke holes in a tweet that I saw from Kevin Seifert, ESPN, yesterday, where I liked it. I mean, he was like, that was super special that I liked it. He was like, reminder number whatever, you blitz on a Hail Mary. You have to blitz on a Hail Mary. I'm kind of like, damn, man. I mean, it doesn't have to be a zero blitz where you're sending like everybody, but I mean, like ending up with 6 guys rushing the quarterback and 5 dropping. Well, that sounds good enough to eat. Nobody ever does it.
I know. I want to go back and look at Hail Marys and see how often there's blitzing, because if I remember correctly, the times I've seen Hail Marys, it's sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think it's a mixed bag.
Okay,
how to approach that bit.
Just to land the plane on, let's call him Lyreek Stevenson instead of Tyreek, because he was an L. So we're going to change the first letter in his name to Lyreek Stevenson. Nordo hit the A topic. Mm-hmm. The A topic was knucklehead factor, yelling at fans. We still have a play, but he got over to the spot in time. Okay, so that's a lowercase L, but he got there in time. Now here's the A topic. I can't possibly believe anywhere in the history of defending Hail Marys, defending potential game-winning shots from 65, batting the ball in the air is in the playbook.
Right.
He hit it right up in the air to Noah Brown.
A double on this one, because his job on that play was to cover back of the end zone guy.
Oh, he forgot his role.
When he turned around and said, "Oh crap!" The ball, almost said the S word.
He jettisoned his Samari.
He ran right into the pile and jumped up when he's supposed to go get back of the end zone guy.
Yeah.
So
he jettisoned his Antrell.
Yeah. So there's double L's there with him.
Double L with Lyreek.
Yeah. So it's too bad, because he's not a bad corner.
Yeah, he's fine.
No,
yeah, he's fine.
They went second or third year now with him.
Third, I believe. They went after him a little bit, and there were some L's and some W's. But when everybody's together, and the other thing, the defense played that well without Brisker and Kyler Gordon, which is rather impressive. I thought. When all those pieces are together with that secondary,
tried to trade for Kendall Vildor, didn't you?
Oh, hell no. He's waiting for a call from the Vikings.
Now, you stop that, okay? You're at the facility courtesy of Sue Cup, okay? Now, you and Al will reach for this segment. Can anybody beat the Lions? I'm just going to throw it out like that. Can anybody beat the Lions?
Themselves,
yeah,
basically. I mean, like one of the 4 losses that I complained about, the Bears had Detroit beat at Detroit last year.
Jeez.
And Eberflus made some stupid calls and ended up losing that game.
That's last year, though.
But I'm just saying.
We had Josh Dobbs last year.
The way they operate on offense, Jared Goff is at the height of his powers right now.
Yeah.
He sees things so clearly now. He's so efficient. After the Vikings game, I went down to the Detroit media room just to listen to him talk, and he was talking about Flores' defense and the depth at which they play with their linebackers and their safeties and their defensive backs. So that if he comes with pressure, you're going to have check down ability. And so he just checked down to his running backs a lot. I think he threw 8 passes to Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. So I just listen to him talk, man. He just sounds like a guy who's in total control of what he's doing and has total confidence. And the defense is good. I still think they could be had a little bit through the air. I don't know if they've totally solved their secondary issues, but man, that's a heck of a team. It's the best team in the NFC right now.
You mentioned Jared Goff. Great, cool. I just went to a sports book website on the Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center Wi-Fi.
Oh, hi, Mr. Andrew Miller. How are you today?
I mean, scores and odds. .com. I mean, this is for research. Okay, we're researching here.
Mr. Allen, this is the commissioner's office.
Okay, IT techies, those part of the techie covenant. Follow the swipes or lack thereof, or the button pushes or lack thereof after going to the site, okay, because there will be none. NFL MVP odds, and here they are. I'm going to lay something out for you, and just both of you give me a yes, no, or a maybe on whether you would spot up on this because you're finding value. The MVP, Josh Allen, plus 270. It's 5-2.
I like it.
Put 100 up, and you win. You scoop 370. Con?
I would not. It's too heavy on the favorite side.
Lamar, plus 370.
Plus 370?
Yes. That ain't bad right there.
No, it's not.
Took that L to the calm, though.
Yeah,
took that L to Jameis.
That kind of dunks over Josh Allen a little bit there.
But I would say no, because Derrick Henry's been such a vital piece of that offense. So that takes away from Lamar.
Yeah, but have you watched Baltimore play, though? They barely use him until the fourth quarter. He's like their closer. He's like Mariano Rivera.
Who? Henry?
Henry, yes.
Yeah, but it's absolutely.
They ease him through the first three quarters, and then it's time to destroy it.
I like Lamar a lot, maybe more than a lot of people do. I think Derrick Henry is really the straw that stirs that drink. Right?
What you're saying, Lavelle, is they miss J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
No doubt.
And they also miss
Todd Heap.
And Latavius. You know, our quarterback was last year after
which one of the four?
After Cousins went down, then Jaron Hall went down. It was
the Mad Bomber.
Dobbs.
Where is he? Who's he playing for?
Backup San Francisco. Okay, Patty Mahomes 5-1 plus 500.
I bet you if they end up the first seed in the AFC that he would be the MVP.
Okay.
Because they'll look at the wide receiver issues they've had, et cetera. Right. No Pacheco.
Yeah, 5-1.
I like that number
in a bad economy with a smoking ban. That's not super negative.
I would take Lamar edge over Mahomes.
Here's the one that I would take. Old Jared Goff plus 7-1 plus 700. Jared Goff plus 700.
Yeah, that's sweet.
No, we ain't gonna root for Jared Goff. Let me get this straight. So, at the Minnesota Vikings facility, the play-by-play voice just championed supporting Jared Goff for MVP at 7-1, and got the information from scoresandodds.com, which technically has a little betting side dish to it, and we're at a football facility, but I'm really playing fast today.
And put the producer he called fat in a car with some money to go find Diamond
apologize, and I'll
Joe's.
repent later, and I don't shave testicles, so we're even.
I take Goff one. Either or Mahomes or Lamar.
Right. Jaden Daniels 9-1.
I'm Mahomes and Goff.
C.J. Stroud plus 1,300. I'll give you plus 2,500 if you want to run it through me.
This thing right now where he had, was it against Seattle, where he didn't have an incompletion? He even caught a little Philly special bit. I mean, this thing's a machine.
Thank you.
But you're dead on. I think the defensive side of thing with Aaron Glenn, like, they have a problem there.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Vikings still in a loss. We put up 29 points on that squad. Like, we can beat the Lions, but our aspect of it, we have to figure out. And I don't know who can at this point figure out that offense. It's nutty. But I'm going Goff and Mahomes.
Yeah, after we manufacture.
Yeah, what was Goff's numbers last Sunday? And they scored 52 points, right? And Goff was like,
his passer rating had to be over 140.
But I think he only had like 180 yards, right? Wasn't there some weird line with him?
We're like David Montgomery.
Montgomery had a touchdown pass.
He was 12 of 15 for 85 yards.
Oh,
yes.
But he had three TDs.
Yeah.
That is efficiency at its finest.
He's starting to take some sacks, though. He's hit the turf 4 times, 2 games in a row. 12. You throw for 85 yards, you're sacked 4 times.
Wow. So you're saying, because you live in Chaska, which is a rival to Chanhassen, you're saying the demise of Frank Ragnow is not greatly exaggerated?
No, not at all.
No, it is not. No, Frank Ragnow.
Will they add a pass rusher before the trade deadline?
Well, there's a little steam that they're going to go after Max Crosby, though.
He's a Michigan guy, right? Isn't he from that area?
Yeah, not Michigan, but like Eastern Michigan or something. All right, that's the columnist, Lavelle Neal III. Plenty about which to chat, including fat one at Target Center this evening. Luka and Kyrie in Dallas.
But I'm not attending the game.
I'm not talking. I didn't mean it that way. I said you were juicy. You weren't fat. Okay? That's why your new nickname is Juice Box. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with that.
Also, the pinstripes of immortality are about ready to get swept in the World Series. Mm-hmm. Those topics and some other things around the corner with Lavelle Neal III. Columnist for the Star Tribune, he's ballyhooed at Lavelle Neal via Twitter. With Nordo, I'm Paul Allen. You're listening to 9 to Noon.
Your Minnesota Wild are red hot to start the season. Don't miss out on seeing them in action. Tickets are available now at wild.com/hockey tickets. That's wild.com/hockey tickets to get yours today.
It is apparently it is Scribe Alma Mater Week at the Star Tribune. Ben Gessling, who covers the Minnesota Vikings, assumedly for profit, joins 9 to noon, 15 minutes from now. A University of Minnesota graduate, and during the mini-bye, the Scribe attended Gophers, Maryland. And the columnist in ballyhooed fashion, Lavelle Neal III, he's a graduate of Illinois. The Fighting Illini, Illinois. And after this radio show, PJ Fleck has his weekly coaches show, and he'll be talking about a contest against Illinois this weekend at Champaign. And you get a chance to go back to your college, Mr. Alum.
Yeah, how about that? It's been I think I've estimated 35 years at least since I've last been on campus. So this is going to be.
Was Dick Butkus playing there when you were a student?
No,
yeah, with
Jack
Millington.
We had Jack Trudeau, Thomas Rooks.
Oh, that's not
and
bad.
a tight end named Tim Brewster when I was there.
So that's why you hit me with the chilly hot last segment.
That's right.
And Red Grange.
That's right. And I believe Brad Childress was like a coach or something there that year for the Illini, because we've had a conversation about that game. But yeah, should be a really interesting game. That looking at the beginning of the year.
Hot.
At the beginning of the year, you didn't see this matchup being juicy, but now it's become juicy. Gophers going for bowl eligibility. Illinois sitting at 6-2 with 2 losses to Penn State and Oregon. Gophers should be ticked off because Illinois has beat them twice in their house in the last 3 years. So there should be some revenge factor here.
Well, I think it's
and
a
also,
thing.
PJ's got to finally beat Bielema for the first time.
And that's what I was curious about, because I think this even goes back beyond PJ, though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is back to Jerry Kill, at least, where they have not figured out, whether it was Wisconsin and now Illinois, how to beat Bielema.
10-0. Bielema's 10-0 against the Gophers.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, that's quite a run. I tell you what, he never puts together. He finds a way to build offensive lines and strong secondaries. It seems like that's the 2 areas of the Illinois teams that have been a benchmark of his since he's taken over. So,
hey, can I ask you a question about the Gophers at large? Just what is a good season for the Gophers in this new weird Big Ten existence? Because, I mean, they rattle off 3 in a row now. It's sweet. I was looking for the Final Four, this confidence builder dropping 50 on Maryland, that's a big deal. And I loved what I saw on Saturday.
at the crib, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Homecoming weekend, everything around it. But I'm just thinking to myself, new muddy. I mean, they're in this muddy middle ground of the Big Ten where clearly they're not competing with Oregon. Clearly they're not competing with Ohio State. But in the same sense, is a 7 or 8 win Gophers team, are you walking away from that in 2024 going, that's sweet, we handled business against the West Coast teams? How do you frame that up?
There's 2 threads here with that, because I think one thread is that I think going into the season, there was low expectations. I think I had the Gophers on 4 wins. I just didn't see much from them because of the uncertainty about the quarterback, uncertainty about PJ allowing his quarterback to throw the ball. I always thought PJ was give the run. If we get up 10-0, we're running the ball 30 times in the second half, starting the bus, we get out of town. But he's actually been flexible, and I think you can see his trust in Brosman. Brosman doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
He moves the ball around. He's efficient, solid guy.
They needed to trust him on Saturday, too.
They've almost exceeded expectations because they're probably going to cough up a 6th victory here, either this weekend or next weekend.
Damn.
I'm thinking they got a shot to beat Wisconsin in the final game of the season here too. Let's look ahead to that. So they could win 7 or 8 games, which, based on expectations going to the season, that's a W. All right.
Why?
Long-term thing about PJ, I think people wanted to see the program get to a certain 9-10 win level and be a consistent winner. That necessarily hasn't happened.
Right. Was Coy Parrish the top recruit in the state of Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay, and he got him. You got to start somewhere. And he has 5 picks, so maybe they'll get to that 9 threshold consistently. So you got to start somewhere.
I don't know. He reminds me of another defensive back, a guy who was a defensive back in college who also returned kicks. His name was Brian Urlacher.
Urlacher returned kicks for New Mexico State.
Yes.
Oh, New Mexico or New Mexico State?
I think it was New Mexico.
Yeah.
But there's highlights of him returning kicks.
That's right. Why does potential MLS scheduling have you all wound up?
I didn't know it was supposed to be wound up over MLS scheduling.
I saw your Twitter. Unless you forgot it during the ablation and the testicle shaving.
Probably.
You're like WTH, what the heck, MLS, because of like the Loon schedule going to a time of the year where it might be cold? Or bro, you were all tripped out before you went under on the nitrous oxide.
You're talking about that. You're talking about the big picture thing. They're talking about moving the entire MLS schedule to the same as the rest of the world, which means they would start in August and finish in May, which means they would be playing home games here in January.
No.
That's why I was like, what the hell?
I was like, nah.
I was like, hell to the no.
Right.
I
didn't read it correctly.
Just let American soccer stand on its own. I don't know why Dan Garber wants to move. I guess he thinks that because of all the different windows, the international window for friendlies and World Cup qualifying, that's better if everybody's on the same schedule. It makes it easier for all that to break down.
Okay.
Now, when you have a summer league like MLS, it gets screwy with call-ups and playing in like the European Championships. The Loons' worst part of the season this year was because they had like 6 or 7 people gone to play in the Copa America or some other international tournaments, and then it went pear-shaped for a while before everybody came back and they got
the friendlies.
Yeah, so I can see what Garber's thinking is, but that's still you got Seattle, you got Vancouver. Montreal's in the league. And you want to play January in Canada?
Ridiculous. No wonder you're all wound up.
That's why I went bananas. I forgot about that.
What in the heck happened to the Yankees about to be swept at home in the World Series?
I took the Dodgers to win, but I thought they'd win in 6 or 7 games.
Right.
For a couple of reasons. One, the Yankees have had to make some adjustments to their bullpen situation late in the season and early in the postseason.
Nestor Cortez, though, there goes Freddie. 2,
the Dodgers left-handed hitters got some something for the Yankees left-handed pitchers. They got guys there who can hit lefties. Ooh. That's Freddie Freeman versus Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
So I thought those 2 things swung in the Dodgers' favor. Plus, they really have a nice lineup with Ohtani at the top and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. And they got other guys. Tommy Evans batting 9th and figuring out ways to get on base. It's like a cohesive unit right now.
Yeah.
I like the Yankees starting rotation better. I thought last night was a lock. I'm a Clark Schmidt guy, and I thought he would pitch effectively and make it 2-1 because I believe the Dodgers have to go to a bullpen game today. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be the Yankees' crevice to jam through and try to get back in the series. But no, I wish George Steinbrenner was still alive today. Would he be calling Aaron Judge Mr. May like he called Dave Winfield?
Mr. May.
Because the guy's disappeared.
Here comes the judge. Lastly, MLB and Moneyball. This is off a Lavelle Neal III tweet right after Freddie Freeman went yard to win Game 1. You tweeted, "Baseball's the greatest game ever." How can you say that given the league's financial haves and have-nots and the imbalance? MLB and Moneyball. Only those who have the most cash get to the World Series.
Okay, let's just overlook the cash situations right now and just look at the game in its essence.
Yeah, the beautiful game.
All right, because we can talk money anytime. Like since the Yankees' last World Series championship, they've spent $3 billion on payroll.
Oh wow,
$3 billion, and have not won a title.
Right.
All right.
Juan Soto, though.
I was just talking about all the fabulous stuff that went on to lead to that the home run off Cortez because there are runners on first and second.
It was beautiful.
Ohtani was up.
Yeah.
All right. Ohtani pops out. Verdugo makes a great catch because he was damn near falling into the stands to catch it. That allowed the runners to go from first and second to second and third. That opened up first base for Aaron Boone to walk Mookie Betts and bring up Freddie Freeman.
So strategic.
Yes, exactly. So just the whole wheels that were turning in that moment, leading up to that fantastic clutch home run.
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about. That's what I was
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's. I for some reason I have not gotten into it this year. I watched Game 1.
Why is that?
Well, I was in Boulder over the weekend with Coley, so therefore that's I'm probably going to miss a game there. But Freddie, I got bit by Freddie Freeman. I mean, I caught the end of that. That was the bomb. But I don't know. I mean, maybe because Aaron Judge is Mr. May. It's I don't know. A schedule.
Ohtani's in it.
Thursday night games, things like that. Ohtani's the bomb.
Yep.
But he's only got 1 hit in the series, I think. I think he had a double or something in Game 1, and he hasn't done much the last 2 games.
It's been Freddie. Freddie's homered in all 3 games.
And Freddie's awesome. And you know, these 2 teams combining for what? Like $600 million in payroll. They got the names.
Yeah, it's Moneyball.
I totally get it. But, you know, on this stage for the Yankees and specifically guys like Aaron Judge doing what they're doing, that pushes me away a little bit from viewing these games and getting into it and expecting that the two titans, the 2 juggernauts, are going to do battle. And it's been a little left-handed for the Yanks.
I can't remember who said. I don't know if it was Buster Olney, Jeff Passan, or Tim Kirkjian, but They estimated there's 7 future Hall of Famers playing in this series. You know, you look at that from that
Can't
point,
argue.
you're like, you know, you guys, you look at that with, I don't want to say astonishment, but you're like, this is awesome. This is a clash of the Titans. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great when the underdog pulls off a Hoosiers and makes a run to the title. Okay,
Yep.
it's great, but once in a while you're going to have a clash of the Titans, and this is what we have right now.
And no doubt, Yankees Dodgers is baseball immortality.
Yep.
Travel safely to Champaign.
Thank you.
We're very happy you got out of the procedure okay. Ablation-related terrorism is negative in the Love Covenant, and we will read your work over the weekend and after the Gophers beat your Illini. Okay,
Okay, we'll see about that.
that's Lavelle Neal III, columnist for the Star Tribune at Lavelle Neal via Twitter. The Scribe Ben Gessling covers the Minnesota Vikings for the Star Tribune. He joins us at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center after this.